Gavany. Okay. So Jace is toast here, but can I? Huh. I mean, yeah, maybe I should have just Jace minus because we're losing him here. If that play was more reasonable if I left at the Ghost Quarter, but then we're never getting to the. Speaking of which, never getting to Elspeth. Ugh. Like even if I had like tunable Pyroclasm, it's not good enough. Like you tunable Pyroclasm, hit the spirits. You Ghost Quarter the township. Like that play would have happened. Had to have happened several turns ago. By the way, the township play. Um, if I really wanted to make that play, it needed to happen turns ago. I guess I got stars because I was looking at the Elspeth. Like, hey, maybe we'll get to you. Would I consider running a fetch? Probably not, Lemming. Probably not. God, this play needed to happen a lot sooner. Actually, I'm supposed to do it in his draw step, maybe. The quarter. Well, no. If he untaps, then he's going to. Yeah. I mean, if I'd gone after the township maybe a couple turns sooner, maybe if I just minus Jace instead of the plus, this could have been avoided. Duress. Okay. Second Gavany. No, you got me. Top deck, maybe Verdict? I mean, it's a lot of damage, though. I think that's lethal. Yeah, it's more than lethal. I would need, like, a Helix here. Kill one of the threes. Then we go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I think the way we needed to... Okay, so this is what we would have seen off the Jace, by the way. That would have answered a Spirit. Yeah, this is like what we would have seen off the Jace, the three we would have seen from the Jace. So we would have piled this land, bolt. If we take the land and not go after the Gavany, we get to Elspeth. What mode was relevant here? The minus kills the two bigger spirits? That doesn't even seem that great. It doesn't even seem that great. Why choose Jeskai? There's a bunch of different shells you could have light side. Why? It's what I'm comfortable in. I used to play years ago. That was what I played, blue, white, red. I mean, you could play Esper. We talked about Esper. We talked about Grixis. Those are all options. I mean, I like blue, white, red's position right now. I actually was thinking blue, white, red well before. Hey guys, I'm back. I was thinking blue, white, red well before before Pete picked up the deck and did well with a blue, white, red shell. Pete Ingram actually was an Absent player. If you look back in the records, that's what he top 8'd with. He joined Jim Davis's team. What is it, Team Gurus, I think? And no, they're a solid team, and they brought Ingram in, and they had him play the Jeskai deck, and he did well with it. He went on, and at least Jim mentioned that he did, get lucky in some places and dodge some matchups he needed to. But he's a solid player. There's no doubt in my mind that someone who's a solid player can pilot something like blue, white, red to great success in Modern. I mean, it is versatile. It has a lot of matchups it can win. It has a lot of matches that you don't win. Like Modern, I love Modern. It's a lot of fun. But it really does come down to, and a lot of players take this the wrong way. They're like, oh, you're just salty because you faced Tron twice tonight, BrewSpy. No, I'm not. I'm really not. I think Tron's a fine choice. Anytime you're facing a grind, Tron is probably one of the best decks to be playing. Modern, though, more so than other formats I've played, even Vintage and Legacy for sure, it feels a bit more, and this is okay, and this I don't knock Modern for this, but I'm just making you aware of it. That this is something that I've discovered, and is kind of my opinion of the format. I think you probably get a better 6. This is not really a better 6, but I'm gonna keep it. This is stable. It sucks that we have both the basic plains and the basic mountain. That means I won't cryptic till turn 5 at the earliest, but we'll see if it's good enough. Alright, cryptic, or blood crypt. Sees, he will take the path, I imagine. It really is pretty matchup dependent. Tron's probably one of the best decks you should be playing, period. Yes and no. Tron does have some bad matchups. And every deck has bad matchups. In fact, that's kind of what I was trying to get at in Mortal Chaos, is that that's what Modern is you... And I was talking with my buddies before, like, the GP started, and we're like, all right, dodge your bad matchups. That is literally a thing. Ooh. Armorgorth? Okay. Is that, makes sense. Well, I knew he was going to take the path regardless. Dodge your bad matchups. Just do it. That's really, and I know, like, from hearing that from me, maybe doesn't excite you about the format. And that's not a knock to the format. It's just, it's kind of the reality of it is, Strango, and like, whenever you play Magic, there's always luck involved. And there's always matchups that your deck might be better positioned against, matchups that your deck might be lesser positioned against, if that makes sense. Less of a good option. But don't let that deter you from playing what you like, or what you want to play. Critiques about Modern feel like they're even worse than Legacy. That's not true. Bitter Blood, in my opinion. Have you played Legacy? Yeah, I have to unfortunately answer the Confidant here, and he did miss a land drop, but you know what? He's going to find that land off the Confidant anyway and slam the Lily he's holding. So, you kind of suck it up and you just say, hope he doesn't have it. They always have it, by the way. There's likely a Lily in his hand. I wish I had a Bolt instead to answer the Dark Confidant instead of the path we're using here on the Confidant. Don't talk about the format when it's in the room with us. True, Kira. Very true. But that's not me complaining. Like, that's me just expressing my attitudes toward the deck and why I think, as I've matured, as I've grown up with Magic, as I've grown up with Magic, I've kind of found myself leaning more towards Legacy. But if you can get over that, Modern's great. Seriously, if you can just... If you have... I mean, like... If you have no problem having some matchups that are very, very difficult, and some that are great or easy as pie, then Modern's fine for you. I wish it felt a little bit more like... I wish there felt like there was a little bit more even matchness here and there, and it felt like some of the games weren't decided very, very early on in the turns. Something that people don't realize about maybe perhaps Legacy is, yes, there are sometimes matches that are over very quickly. There are also many, many games that go to the full 3 games because the decks have the ability to sideboard so well. You have the ability to draw to your sideboard cards so very well. That's not really something you see in something like Standard or Modern. Hold me? Okay. Why were you holding back? Yeah. Yes, exactly. And that's what we need to focus on, Snap, for this. Modern has some great things about it too. Because, you know, you can tweak a list. Purge is great here. You can tweak a list, and you can do actually kind of like Anger. I see a lot of these Jund decks bringing like Kitchen Finks post board. I'm not saying that this guy's going to, but maybe he might. Model's not great, and part of that has to do with, well, if we have nothing else to bring in, that's what I will bring in. I kind of like the Commandeer. I just want to play his Lily. Nah, that's not the right play though. You do that more so against like your Trons. I've done against Burn. There are a couple other decks I would maybe consider something like a Commandeer. There's a few other decks I would. At the GP though, the Commandeer was like my favorite play against Tron. It felt so good. He actually, what was funny about that guy was Like, and the judges were there because of the call from the previous game where we had the whole boom bust snafu, boom bust off the brain in a jar. And he was sitting there, and he was like looking at the judges. He was like, "He can't do that, right? He can't commandeer my planeswalker, right?" And they were like, "Yes, yes, he can commandeer your card. Please keep playing Magic." It was hilarious. Raylan says, "I also get this, matchups are more even in Legacy and Vintage, but you also have nut draws able to win against every deck." Yeah, I mean that's the balance, or not balance. You know, depends on how you feel about it. There are things in Modern I would also call the nut draw, in fairness. Man isn't that great in this matchup either, near this Cryptic. I mean, at least this trades with a hand hate spell. In the late game, I can go and grab up a Snapcaster Mage with this. You could run like a Crumble for the Manlands. I mean, that's not great. Relic's decent against Tarmogoyf, but he's probably gunning for this. Which is why I'm not that excited about this as a sideboard option. But probably have left in some number of Abrupt Decay. Brad says Commandeer literally says in the card, can steal a Planeswalker. Yeah, it does say it, or Planeswalker. Some Legacy matches, blubber, or should I say, we'll run it. Some, we'll submit here. Some, did I leave in the shock? Actually, I should have brought in the second shock because he'll have Scavenging Ooze, especially out of the board. Hi, Key, Low Key, thanks for the follow, Reno. Welcome to the BSMG. By the way, this is one of the matchups that, and here's the thing, I'm happy to admit it. When I played at the GP, oh Jesus. Oh no. Alright. This was one of the matchups I was lucky to dodge. It was. The most similar thing I played against that was like Jund, that sucked, was, that had nothing to do with my opponent. That second game anyway. The first one, yes. Second one, no. I was lucky enough to dodge Jund. I actually didn't play Jund once at the GP. I kid you not. I did play a Mardu mid-range. I did play a couple other decks that had the same tools like Abrupt Decay. So yes, did my list play and win against some Abrupt Decay decks? Yes. Were any of them Jund? No, I actually didn't play against Jund once. The closest thing to Jund that I played against was Mardu. Take my money, please, Shuffler. Please. Take all of my money, Shuffler. Raylan says, I don't think they scoop. I think they're forced to race. Some Linger Souls. Alright, Vintage and Legacy are pretty great. Counter Wars can be super fun. I would say Modern is a more diverse and therefore and punishing format, says Sam. Yeah. It's fun for different reasons. It's also maybe sometimes tilting for different reasons. Like in Legacy, you can keep a hand that's pretty low on lands, but thanks to the power of things like Brainstorm and Ponder, you can still play Magic. That's not the case in Modern. By the way, this number is true. I do really run 25. Did we ever see a hand that had more than 1 or 2 lands there? No, we didn't. But that's okay. Just jam more Magic. Don't even worry about it. If you, seriously though, if you can't take that, not only is Magic Online maybe something that's not for you if you can't take the occasional where the Shuffler is what beats you, not necessarily your misplay, not necessarily your opponent. You shouldn't play Magic.